Pulse!
Okay, let's
That was good.
This is.
So I'm Michael.
I'm Alana. Oh, he does
So
guitar.
I play guitar.
I'm the singer.
I'm Aiden and I play the drums.
I'm Ava and I also play guitar with Michael.
I'm Mason and I play bass.
So,
Do you have an answer?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that we've been playing music together for years, and all of us have kind of, I mean, we went to school together, all of us, and we did like the same music program. So, and especially us two have just been like playing in punk bands since like our freshman, sophomore years of high school.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Slayer, Lay, and Pulse are completely separate too. Like I don't think there was ever like a merge into it. It was just like
Yeah, it was. So Slayer Leia is my solo project that I had him play mandolin for because I just always do music with him, and I had my sister play guitar on it, and that was just like a thing that got released that I kind of forgot about. But even during that era, I always like knew I wanted to do a punk band. Like we were just talking about it so much, how we really just wanted to start like a punk band again, how we miss playing. And honestly, the formation was kind of weird. Like it started with just us three jamming, and it was him on drums, him on sometimes bass, sometimes guitar, and me just singing. And then we were like, okay, we need to get another member.
Because we were throwing a Halloween house show at my place
That we didn't have a band for.
Mm-hmm. But we wanted a band for.
So then he hit up this guy.
Yeah, so I was jamming with him like a week or two prior, and then he texted me about the house show, and he was just like, we need another guitar player or bass player. And
And
I
it
was
was
like,
really funny because you were
I
I
was very-
promised both of them that they would be on guitar. And
I
that's not
lost.
Yeah, I was very
I
like,
lost that one.
I don't
And
play
he
bass,
won.
so-
He just showed up with a guitar, and he also had a
Yeah.
guitar, and so they had to duke it out. Yeah, it was a thing.
But it was really funny too because I remember he texted us and he's like, "Are we getting paid for this?" And I was like, "We're
No.
literally throwing the show at his
I
house."
did?
Yeah, you were like, "Are we getting paid for this?"
That's so
I was like,
awesome.
"Unless Aiden pays you." But
Yeah, we played that one. Or you go.
oh, I was just gonna say like a week before, Alana was like, Ava, come over and jam. We're doing a show, and I was like, no, that sounds stupid. I don't want to. And then I saw them play, and I was like, okay.
and then she's like, "You have to let me join. You have to let me join." And
So
then somehow she weaseled her way in there.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember right after we played the Halloween show, Ava was like, you played really good. And then like a few minutes later, she was like, can I play a song? She just took my
Yeah,
guitar
and
and
then
was
she
playing
just
something.
came up and was
with
playing
you
with
guys.
us.
so
But long
she
story
asked to join
short-
the band that night too.
Long story short, we just all know each other from high school music program, and that's my little sister, and that's his little brother, and it just worked.
In that front?
I would say like definitely. I've seen Amel and the Sniffers. Like I saw them 6 times last year, and they're a female fronted punk band. But the thing that was always so cool about them was like, even though she's literally wearing like underwear and a bra, like somehow she's not just like putting her sexuality out there as just like a draw.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like she is like completely half masculine and feminine at the same time, and she just like literally demands your attention. And like
it's kind of confrontational. Like it's
it's not like
Well,
look
it
at
is,
me,
it's like-
I'm pretty. It's like look at me and like this is who I am. Like,
taking up space,
yeah.
and like sexuality is just like a part of that, like tangentially, but it's there,
Yeah.
and it's not like a draw. Like look at me.
Yeah, you're not gonna
necessarily.
go
It's like,
see him because it's
You
like
have to look at me when I'm in this room, no matter what. Like
Yeah.
not only when you want to.
And also, like, for us performing, or, like, me specifically, it's, like, yes, it is a performance, but, like, how Alana, she says this a lot, that it's, like, this is, like, a rejuvenating way to get your emotions and feelings out there. And, like, for me, when I play the music, it's, like, that's what naturally happens, because it feels good. And, like, I'm sure it's the same way for you guys. Like, that's just what happens when we play it.
Totally.
And another thing I'll say too, the past project that me and Aiden were a part of was called Slob Girl, and that band, the name was taken from this band L7, which is an all-girl band from the 90s, and they were just really big on like if they were asked anything in interviews about like, oh, what's it like being a girl in a band or anything, they're just like, we're not answering. Like, we just play music and us being girls has nothing to do with it. And then in an interview once, they were like, we're just slob girls. So, and we just thought that was so sick, and we took that name, and I feel like I've brought that energy into this. It's like I never am like, oh, I want to look cute tonight. It's like, how can I make, like, I've just gone to so many shows, especially like after COVID, where it's just like everyone's looking around, like afraid to tap their foot, afraid to dance, like, and I'm just like, how can we put on a show where people literally are forced to like move, like,
And especially we live in, you know, the social media age, so I think a lot of people, especially artists, are kind of obsessed with the image of the whole thing. And I think that's something that we're trying to push against. It's like, it's not about what you look like when you're up on that stage or what you look like when you're in that crowd, but it's about like, what are you doing? Like, what do you feel like? So we just want to bring like, we want to be like visceral, and we want to look like gross. Like if you saw someone doing that on the street, you'd be concerned, sort of thing. So like, because that is what really shakes people out of their like normal headspace. Like that's what punk music should be, is I think, is just this complete, almost otherworldly experience, because it's like, I can never do this in my day-to-day life, you know?
The spectacle of seeing us should have nothing to do with the fact that there's girls in it.
That's another running theme in the band, is we always kind of resent a little bit when people are like, oh, you sound like, you know, insert one of 5 female-fronted punk bands, like you sound like Bikini Kill, or you sound like, and it's like, we just want to, like, we're not a, you know,
Just
I think
bands
a
that we
big thing is,
sound nothing
we're
like.
not a girl punk band, we're just a punk band who, you know, there happens to be girls making the music and like being a part of it. And I just think that that's a big thing, is we're just like people, you know, it's not about necessarily what gender we are.
And I think a lot of me and Ava's idols, like, in music are people that are, like, very androgynous, like David Bowie and Iggy Pop, like, same thing, where it's just like, I don't know what gender, sexuality they're being right now, but I have to look at them. Because they're just amazing. You can't take your eyes off them. So that's what we try and channel.
I love that. Do you get that too, where people are like, you sound like Haley from Paramore? You ever get that one?
I think I've gotten that once.
I think
That's
that's
so
so
funny.
common for girls. Like,
But
Really?
we've
Out
gotten Bikini Kill a lot,
lot.
which is literally insane to me, because the subject matter of our songs is nothing akin to theirs. The tone of the amps themselves, nothing like them. The way we write music,
we
like
sound
we
like
just don't
Bikini
sound.
Kill.
We're just not similar bands.
There's
Like,
nothing comparable there.
but
yeah, I think some people are just like, girl yelling, Bikini Kill.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
and I feel like people just like, they want to prove they're in the know. They want to prove it's like, it's more to prove to themselves. Like, oh yeah, I know this girl band, so like I'm cool with you guys. It's like, I really don't care what girl band you know. I don't.
Yeah, it's like just we're being pigeonholed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hate it when people act like they know shit when they don't know anything. Like, I'd actually respect you more if you were like, I don't know anything, let me learn. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Instead of like naming the 5 punk bands, you know, that have a girl in them, so you're like, see, like, I know. Like, I know.
And it's funny because we're like,
Sorry,
I
keep
mean, our
kicking
first
it.
practices were literally us just covering like 5 Emil and the Sniffers songs in a row, and like, like she's just like, my idol is Amy, the lead singer of that band, and somehow no one has ever said to us like, oh, you guys kind of have an Emil and the Sniffers vibe.
Which is
Like,
interesting.
It's, I don't know why.
But yeah.
But maybe they're just not well known enough.
I don't know, I haven't heard him. I have to listen to him. If
You
They're
will
guys-
awesome.
love them. You
Okay.
will love them.
Totally don't.
Yeah, so we know, like, we've seen people play there before, and they're not technically allowed to have people play there, but they do, so it's always just sort of been a thing, like, we love to, I mean, it's
kind of a
2-minute drive.
it's like a Huntington Beach, like, local legend spot.
mm-hmm.
Like, bands in Huntington, like, they play Vinyl Solution, you're just like, okay, they're like an Orange County band. And,
Oh, sorry.
no, go
But
ahead.
I say Vinyl Solution always just like supported like small bands. You go in there, you'll find like records, cassettes, shirts from all like small bands. So it's nothing like out of the ordinary for them to like just be down to do that and let people play there.
So
Yeah.
anyways, we got the show because of
Our good
Nicole.
friend Nicole Parker.
Our good
Support
friend
her
Nicole
music
Parker.
career.
Girl Parker.
Girl
Who?
Parker.
She kind of knew one of the guys working, and we also know some of the people that work there. So
We've been all going there since we were literally like 10.
yeah,
Like,
even though I don't think Drac knows who I am.
yeah.
Still. But yeah. So we just started kind of talking about having a show set up, and then I don't know really much
It
about
was
the
like-
nitty-gritty process.
like Nicole was setting it up with them, and it was like, okay, you can play on this day. Then we came back the next week, and we're like, okay, we're ready to play. And he's like, actually, I got something that day. You can play this day. And like we get the day, the time, make the flyer, post the flyer. And he's like, yeah, invite all your friends. And then the day of, he's like, you know, you can't invite anyone, right?
well, yeah.
And then like
He's like, invite people, like, it'll be a party, it'll be fun. And then, yeah, literally the day of,
he's
me
like,
and
no
Nicole
one can be here. And then it was supposed to start at 7, and he's like, no, I want you guys to come right now at 6. And
because he's like, I want to leave early.
and
It was like
But-
And he never
totally.
even ended up staying, right?
no,
No,
he
he-
wasn't. This is
no.
all the owner.
Yeah.
But shout out to Max,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
in the same music program that we were all in, who works at this record store, and he just like decided that the show was gonna happen. He didn't care how many people were there. He like let everyone in. He was like being the unofficial doorman. He did all the electricity for us. He was just keeping everything in check. And that was just like a legendary night for us. That was the first time we played
Yeah.
with the full lineup, actually, because
Mhm.
like there were so many shows where like someone couldn't make it, so we'd have like a fill-in or something, and that was the first show. It was all 5 of us, and it was literally on a record store that's on the same block that we live at, and it was just
And it was tiny, and there was people crammed in there, and it was just like awesome.
All of our friends,
you could
by
just
the way.
feel the energy. It
Like-
was just like ricocheting off the walls.
As we
It
were
was
playing, we
awesome.
were so loud, all the 7 inches on the wall
Were,
to
like,
the right of us were
falling.
falling off during our set. It was super fun.
it was awesome. It was a great show.
I'm sure it's nice to come full circle like that when you've known a place for so long, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was just like
I think it's always been like sort of an adolescent dream of mine where I'm like, one day my awesome rock and roll band will
We'll
play
play
at
at
Vinyl
Vinyl
So
Solution.
yeah, it was kind of like unimaginable. Like when it happened, I was like, wait, what the fuck? We're
I
playing
know.
at Vinyl
I
Solution?
know. And there's Mason tells a story about the Garden playing a show there, which is just like
Yeah.
if you were an indie kid in 2016 in Orange County, like the Garden was
The
who
shit.
you prayed to at night. So like there's like a story about them even playing a show at Vinyl Solution, and it got like shut down, and then he had to stop doing shows.
Well,
and
he
then-
ran away
Yeah,
apparently. Like
'cause
too many people
he
showed up.
didn't know-
he left
He
the
didn't know
owner
the
just
garden was
left.
popular, so like 100 people showed up, and he freaked out and left the store. And they played anyway. It's so funny.
But shout out to Vinyl Solution. They're the greatest record
Yeah, they're
store
awesome.
around. No.
No.
All love to Vinyl.
Yeah.
That one's open for interpretation.
I
What do you guys explain that one, I guess?
I'm not explaining that one.
Like I don't
It's
know.
all.
from
It's
what-
about our singer's past experiences in her love life, predominantly.
Just every verse is a funny joke about something that's happened to me in my romance misadventures.
That was one of our first songs, right?
Yeah,
It was
I-
the first one.
I
the
remember
first
when we
original
jammed on
practiced
it, like,
together.
like a year before
Yeah,
Pulse
before-
even happened.
Mhm.
like when you were writing it, yeah.
That one, and that one's very Animal and the Sniffers, just in the sense that a lot of our songs that we wrote, like post Michael being in the band, post like all of us together, were a little more eclectic. Like we took inspiration from like heavy metal and grunge and all these random places. But that song was like the first one we wrote, and it's just very straight up
Mm-hmm.
3-chord punk music,
Just
basically.
fast and loud and in your
And
face.
so-
And
Yeah,
there's really fun background vocals, which I don't even think we developed the background vocals at the time when that video was, but like everyone screams the punchlines because basically every line ends with a funny joke. And it's just a story about get your kicks while you're young.
eating your kicks.
And go out there and have fun, and it's just a
And let it
fun
roll off
song.
your back.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it is like a really good summation of our
Yeah, that's Cole's
journey,
song, bro.
because it's just like yeah.
And it's like that one's always gonna be on the set list.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I love
I
that
love how
song.
you were like, you guys take it, and then you explain the whole thing.
Well, everyone looked at me like I'm not explaining that shit for you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed in the performance you were like walking up to everyone, putting the mic in everyone's face. I love that, just like how you include everyone. It's really nice.
It's been amazing that like because we all live in Huntington Beach, and just a lot of our friends do too. And every time we play something like locally to that area, all of the kids there, especially their friends, like know all the words to our songs. We've never put anything out, and it's like as a performer to be able to be like, oh, like I'm too out of breath for this line, and just hold the mic out and know that a kid's gonna know all the lines. Like it's
Such a cool
Even
feeling.
in San
It's
Diego,
really
some of the
insane.
people knew the lyrics
Yeah.
already.
yeah, it was crazy. It's
So awesome.
Ooh, so
You were
I
in
actually-
that,
I
think.
kind of, the three of us, as in her, me, and him. You weren't. I don't think you were there.
This was in the dark ages of Pulse when we were playing.
the dark
We were
ages.
playing a bass, a Squire bass through a Line 6 amp that kept smoking, and you were playing drums, and I was singing into like a computer speaker
Yes, in your mom's like
in my
jam
mom's
space.
living room. So
Yeah, and so
that's-
we were just jamming and playing random stuff, and
he just played that riff, and I just started going, I know a poser from a punk, and we thought it was really funny.
then we had that whole section with the hits. That happened in the moment. Do you remember that? Like we kept
I
doing
think
the
so.
walk down.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just one of those moments where the energy, even though we had such, am I allowed to say shit?
You can say whatever you want.
We had such shitty
This is
equipment.
college.
We had such shitty equipment, and so like it didn't sound good at all. But it was one of the first times we were playing music, and I was like, there's something really cool here.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics are just kind of fun and funny.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
funny.
just, I don't know.
Those lyrics are camp.
Yeah, it was like the poser from a punk was like kind of ironic, but then like I was like, oh, we should change the lyrics, right? And they were all like, no, it's funny, you should keep it. And so then like I wrote the verses kind of around that.
It's meta.
And my favorite verse, can I say it? Is it like super lame if I like recite my own lyrics?
No.
No.
You
A
can do
little.
a bunch of LSD, talk to the trees, think that makes you a fucking hippie, but I know a poser when I see one. I love that. It's like my favorite
Yeah.
line ever. I just love it.
Also, like when Michael and I like came and like got on the song, like now it's got a little like ska like upchuck to it, and it's just so fun because
yeah.
there's like so many different like genres like incorporated into that song, and then also the lyrics like thrown on top of it. It's like that song is so fun to play.
It's
And
funny- it's at
that
least punk
that was
solo.
like not purposeful, but then we discussed it afterwards. We're like, okay, why is it like kind of starting to sound ska, and like why does it have all these influences? And we're like, well, it's a song about how like doing certain stuff doesn't make you a punk, like it's just about how you feel. So we're like, okay, right on the nose that this song is
The
like
song
kind of
itself.
not punk rock
Yeah.
in style. So yeah.
So what I'm gathering is you're now a ska band.
Yeah. No, we
Gotta
have
give back to our
we have an
LBC
ad out in the
roots.
paper for a horn player. And,
Are you guys just like No Doubt 2.0? Be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah. Dude, you sound just like Gwen Stefani.
add that to the list.
Yes. Dude, there should actually be a list. I'm sure it would go on for
Yeah,
like,
we should start one. That'd be funny.
We did. What was
We
it? The
should.
band that we used to be in a band that did a cover of da na 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 na
Sunday
na
Morning.
na Sunday Morning.
That was
Was that not
Acid
you?
Blondie.
You covered
But you were in
once.
it.
Yeah, I was in that.
Yeah. We did a No Doubt cover.
How many
Lots.
Or the one of most
Four.
notoriety was Acid Blondie that me and Aiden were in, and that was like not big band in the scene, but just like all the shows where it'd be like all the bands in the scene. We were always there because there was a really good Orange County scene back before COVID, and then a lot of the places like just like people would treat the venues not good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it was like one of the most popular ones was literally a deli, and the people that owned it, like one of their kids was in the scene, and they would just open at night and have these like crazy punk shows, but like people would just get too violent and
Also just bands that, it was a weird time because there was no shows, and so all the bands pre-COVID, just a lot of them stopped playing during COVID, so you came out of it and it was like completely new venues, completely new bands, and so everyone was...
Yeah. But that was
So
probably the
they did
biggest one, and then we were in Mystery, and then we were in Slot Girl and
So
Slayer
four.
Leia, and I was
4
in
or 5.
bands before that too.
My Treads days.
Yeah, Mason and I had little bands too that we played at a couple shows with.
No,
you.
just me and Alana, actually.
But this is Michael's first
Yeah, I
band.
never had any bands.
It's your first band?
It is my first.
Do you
band.
like it?
I love it. Yeah, it's super fun.
I would have loved if you're like, nah, I fucking hate it.
What if you
Like, I
come
can't-
out
I
and
can't
say,
handle it.
No.
I love this song so much.
It's a good one.
Aiden came up with the riff for that one,
Yeah, he came up with the guitar.
and then I don't know.
We
It's
were kind
like
of just like kicking around ideas, and someone was just like, "Oh, movies."
yeah.
A lot of
Did
the
I mention
times,
the name? like Spaghetti Cowboy or something.
I think you did. A lot of the times, when we're writing songs, like someone will just come with a riff or like a couple chords or something, and we'll just be like, okay, let's just jam on it, and I just see what lyrics I literally come up with on the spot, and then I'll like take them home and try and do something with it. And this one, and a lot of the times if I'm drawing a blank, I just like go around and I'm like, what does this riff make you feel? And everyone has to like say something really quick, and I think like 3 of you guys were like, it makes me feel like I'm in a movie. And so then I just started singing about different movies I liked, and then he said spaghetti western, and now it's like my absolute favorite song to perform. I love it so much.
It's a good one.
I love playing that song too. It's so fun.
It's a really good song.
There's so many different parts in it. Well, I guess there's only 2 different parts, but they're very different,
Yeah,
which makes it super fun.
yeah. It doesn't really have a meaning.
I don't think
Behind the
songs have to
lyrics,
mean
like-
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that seems like the most of our songs. Like, the lyrics don't necessarily mean anything deep. They're just fun, good times.
Yeah.
And there's something that just kind of came up on spur of the moment. A lot of them. You know?
Well, I write
You do lyrics.
almost all of the lyrics, but then they write all the guitar, he writes all the bass, he writes all the drums. And a lot of the time he writes the guitar too.
I wrote
Yeah.
a couple
And he writes
different-
guitar too.
Yeah, we really-
And
I think-
I've written guitar too, actually.
I think
Everyone-
So I do
Everyone
lyrics
in
to me.
this band is primarily a guitar player. All 5 of us are guitar players, like in our day-to-day lives.
Mhm.
So a lot
So I
of
think
compromising.
a lot of it is just like whatever, we're just kind of writing, playing whatever stuff when we're alone. And if we write something that we think can potentially fit the vibe, someone will bring it and just be like, hey, like I have this cool riff, like let's see what we can do with it. So I always say it's like everyone comes with their own individual ideas, and then once they throw it out into like the arena, it just sort of becomes a pulse song because everyone is like adding, oh, I think this pause would sound good here, or like we should slow down there. And
Or they just like play what they think sounds good.
I think
and
they're
it
all
sticks.
collaborative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's one song that was like, oh, like Mason wrote that song
Mhm.
and that's like hit,
Yeah.
or like Alana wrote this song. It's like
A
we
lot of
all
the
wrote all
songs
of
that
them.
I even like wrote the riffs for or something, I'll literally forget until like someone tells me. Like
Mhm.
I forget who actually brought it to the table. It just becomes our song.
Pulse unit
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
So yeah, it's completely equal.
What you gotta stop?
one's the deepest lyrically, I'd say.
Probably, yeah. I remember because I was like, before we got into it, I was like, I want a song with weird drums.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And so I
Yeah.
came up with that drum beat.
I remember that.
I
was like-
remember I wasn't at the practice when you guys originally wrote that one.
You
I just
weren't?
came in. No, I wasn't. I
Yeah.
forget where I was. But it was just like came in one day, and you were like, so it starts like, boom, 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 and I was like, that's
Oh yeah,
so
the timing was
weird.
really weird.
I
So
did not.
we spent like a
it.
full 45
So
minutes trying to
weird.
get the timing right for everyone.
And I got it pretty quick.
Yeah,
Ava got it like 45 seconds.
Ava actually
That's
came to
right.
practice already knowing the timing. I hadn't even shown her the song yet. No, yeah, I just wanted to write a song with weird, cool drums, and so we totally kind of improvised that. Like that riff was all you guys, right?
Yeah. I just remember he was playing like this drum beat, and then I was just hitting the bass notes of the song, and then
And you
we
did
came
you
up
write
with
that
it.
riff? I think you wrote it.
I wrote that main riff, but then Ava listened to it and she wrote like this weird, can't even describe what you play. Like,
Just like, I don't know, poking notes and
yeah,
stuff.
she just plays like
Poking
random
notes.
notes, but
Yeah,
it
I
works
guess.
good.
And
Yeah.
that sorry, go ahead.
And I think the bass does the same thing, or
I'll
at
see your
certain
sometimes.
parts. Okay, yeah. But it's so cool. That song's fun.
That's one of the only songs that I actually like went home and extensively worked on the lyrics. I wouldn't say extensively because still it just like came to me like stream of consciousness.
Yeah. Stream of conscious.
I don't know. But
Stream of consciousness.
but yeah, those lyrics definitely. It was just like at that time I was working at Guitar Center, which is just a company that kind of like squeezes the life out of you and pretends to support like musicians and musicianship, and then like if you ever have a show or anything, they just like hate you and you just have to be there whenever they want you to be there. And it was just like a song about like I'm working at a place that's like pretending to foster this, but like it's not, and I just hate my job. And we were like, punch the clock. Like, are you punching in or are you punching the clock? And then that song goes into a song called Pulse's War,
That's our experimental phase.
which
right there.
is we were just
Oh.
me and Aiden were getting really obsessed with Black Flag's My War, and we just thought like a really sludgy, just slow riff with just like crazy screaming vocals. We were just like, we just want that energy somewhere in one of our songs, and
Mhm.
so those songs are always attached. And
I don't know how long the Pulse's War is in the Vinyl Solution video, but it got bad to the point where we were doing like fully 10-minute renditions of that song.
And
I'm
People
like,
leave.
people would leave. Yeah,
people,
people like were not.
every single time we played it, people would like go to the bathroom, stop dancing.
So I had to out.
And honestly, I'd just be like strumming the
I
notes,
had to-
not really like conscious of what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was kind of
And
tone it down.
I changed the lyrics to that song every single time. I don't actually have lyrics for that song. I just say whatever's on my
It's like
mind.
slam poetry.
Yeah, but we did just go on a tour, and like all of the grunge bands in the Washington area cite My War as like a big influence, and they were the first. We played a show in Olympia, and that was the first time we've ever played it where people were getting more
They loved
into
it.
it. They
Yeah,
loved
Washington crowd
Pulse's
loved that
War,
song.
and that was like so amazing for us because that's my favorite one. Like when we're just jamming, like in your garage, that's my favorite song to do because it's just so like
And it's
I'm
fun.
angry and it's like dark and like sludgy.
Yeah, and it's fun for like Michael and Mason and I too because like we're just like the whole time Michael and I are switching off soloing or like making weird noises and Mason's just doing whatever he does and like we get
Whatever I do.
And then
Mason's
Mason's
doing
just
all
looking
these
like,
crazy
whatever he
shit. I'm doing like whatever.
And like
and we get off track and we're out of time, but we get back on it and it's just fun and messy.
the whole premise is that they're playing something that's like in a 4/4 time signature and you're doing a 3/4. So the
opposite.
you're doing 3/4, he's doing 4/4. So every time he hits the one, it sounds like it's on a different
Mm-hmm.
like one.
No,
It's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of disorienting to play, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'll lose. It's just 2 chords, but you play one of the chords double the length of the other one, and so like when I come back from the solo, I'll look at Mason's bass and I like can't see where he is.
Yeah, we have to
And I'll
like
play
it
like
takes
the
a
wrong,
second.
and he'll be playing like chords on the bass. So then I'm like, oh well, shit, I don't even know what I'm doing.
And that's that song we named Pulse's War because it's just a straight rip off of
My one.
My War.
Yeah.
It's our love letter to Black Flag.
Okay,
My
not a
War.
straight rip off.
It's an homage.
It's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
homage.
Should I call
No,
it Black
Marsh's
Flag
done
right
it.
now?
Oh, Greg Ginn would be pissed off, dude. He'd have to be mad.
He probably would.
That-
Well,
Awesome.
we're out of this convo right now.
So-
So
Super
unfortunately, because these two are still in high school, they had to stay at high school
Just
during
quit
the
school,
tour.
guys.
I
Yeah,
know.
right?
But our good friend Natasha just came as the bass player, and then we just had one guitar player, Michael.
Oh.
And I mean, I'm still recovering. Like my voice is still not all the way back from the tour, but it was the most rewarding thing probably of my whole life to have worked that hard and like just going to these towns where people like because we haven't put out any music, we have no hype around us, like so these people are purely going just because like the bands that we threw these shows with were like, okay, stay for this touring band please. And
Yeah.
like just the reception, like the amount of people that bought merch from us and like followed us and just told us they loved it.
And so much went wrong. But, like, we always managed to play the full set and do it well at the end of the day. Like, our stuff broke. Like, the cops got called before our set, one of the shows.
And said if you guys play one more note, we're gonna fine you $1,100.
Well,
And
they
we
said if
ended
they
up-
get a call, if they get another call, that they would find. Isn't that what they said?
It looks better.
It
than
looks it's like a storytelling
Okay.
But it's
thing.
better if they said
Well, the
one
cops
more
said-
note.
Okay, so wait,
we
what the
played
cops
4
say?
songs.
They said if we played one more note.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys
Yeah.
played a note?
We played
four
4 songs
songs.
worth of notes.
So more than a couple notes.
Oh, yeah.
And that was I think the best. That was our Santa Cruz show. I think that was the best of the tour, even though we played 4 songs and like it
was
was
super
just the
fun.
crowd there just
And
loved
these
it.
two were there for San Diego, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
That's
That was
probably
our
the biggest
biggest
crowd we've
show
ever played
ever,
to.
yeah.
San
Yeah.
Diego's like a sea of people, like
They liked
pushing
it.
each other and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like for that show, it was very like crust punk is what they call it, and like screamo
what they call
bands. And we were definitely we didn't sound like the other bands, but they ate it up. They liked the diversity.
Yeah, someone said like you're the only band here in, or no, this other band Jericho Sirens were like you're our
Oh.
brothers in E standard.
Yeah,
Because
the only
everyone else
E-standard
was in like
bands.
D sharp, like crazy down-tuned, just
Is
like
it D
screamo.
sharp? Just
D sharp is
flat?
1 note down.
Okay, what is
We're in,
it?
like,
B
D
flat?
standard.
I don't know this stuff. I don't care. I just don't care.
Crazy half-step tuning.
But the tour was really cool because we did it independently, which is hard to pull off, like doing that without a label. And it honestly didn't cost, the only thing that costed a lot of money was that we flew to Olympia. But that was like a conscious decision where we were like, we just don't want to drive this far because they wanted to stay at work. And we were thinking of it like, okay, let's just see the Olympia part of the trip as like a vacation that we're also happening, that we also happen to be playing a show
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
But like the second leg of the tour, which was San Francisco, Santa Cruz, San Diego, like really it was just gas. Like, and we made a lot on merch, so like it's definitely possible for any band to do if you just. When did we
We-
start hitting people up? Like
A little
Not
later.
long before.
Yeah.
Like a month and a half or 2 months before.
Yeah, like 2 months
actually, no, when we
before.
started hitting people up,
It was
2 or 3 months before.
It was after Christmas, definitely. It was like maybe end of January. I'd say in February we started.
Yeah, end of
Like
January,
after
February.
FTG.
Mm-hmm.
But it was.
We probably should have taken more
a lot
time
of
before.
a lot of responses we got were like, if you would have let us know sooner.
Mm.
Because we wanted to hit up like Sacramento and San Luis Obispo, and then also we were doing it during a lot of the UC and state school spring break, so a lot of the bands were like, oh yeah, our drummer's gonna be out of town that week or something, but the shows we did pull together were
Really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was another one that I think was like that one in Live Fast, one of the first songs you came in with like.
Yeah, because Desire
Just
was
chords.
a Slop Girl song, right?
No.
No?
I thought
Oh.
the notes
I
for
thought
it
you told me
were.
Natasha wrote it.
No, there was another
Oh.
song that Natasha wrote that we played like once
Oh,
on one of
okay.
our first practices, but
I remember.
you definitely wrote Slop Girl.
I wrote Desire, and you, me, and Natasha, who is the other member of Slop Girl, jammed to it like one time.
Oh, really?
But that was like while Pulse was already a thing. Or it was like right before
Oh,
Pulse
I
started.
see, I
Because
see,
I
I
only
see.
wrote it like, I think I wrote that song literally in October, so I must have wrote it right
Oh,
before
okay,
the
okay,
show.
okay.
But
We played that one at the Halloween house show, so it was very early. It was one of the first ones.
early Pulse days.
Early pulls.
But that one, I just wanted to, I don't know. I literally just wrote it in my room, like, over a situation that happened to me.
Over an undisclosed situation that happened to me.
The song's just about, like, I guess knowing someone's not good for you, but still wanting to be with them. And
That's like a fan favorite. I think especially the line.
I don't care that I'll never be skinny is everyone's favorite.
No, the mom one.
Oh, what
The
is
mom
it?
one.
Animal Instinct.
I don't care that I'll never be skinny. I don't care that you don't find me pretty. I'm still gonna do you like no other. Animal instinct. Got it from my
Yeah,
mother.
yeah, yeah.
That's everyone's favorite line.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
one.
It's my
I think
mom's
that's my
favorite
favorite line now.
Dude, I literally write exactly what comes to my head. And my thing is, if I ever stop writing a song and come back to it, it'll never be finished. So I have to finish it right then and there. And I've been writing like lyrics and songs since literally I was like 3. So it's just something that it's like the one thing in my life that I never really have to think about. So like sometimes if I'm like, very rarely am I calculated, like I want to write a song about this thing and like set out to do that. Usually it's just like, oh, what's coming into my head right now?
And also, I was gonna say too, like for the musician point of view, like how you said it's not very calculated. I was gonna say that, and I agree. And it's like we don't really follow like structure that would be like sought out by people, because I know like in our music program, some people write songs and it's very calculated and it's like verse, chorus, solo, this, and I kind of like that. It's very like you don't expect what's coming next from the Pulse songs because it's not calculated. It's just random. It's how we feel.
Yeah,
And it's what comes to us, like you said.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Alana and I came up with this one, the riff. We like,
Yeah, that one's predominantly you two, right?
yeah, because Alana had like a little something in her phone, and then we were like, okay, let's do this. And I know like,
I think I had like the like kind of the riff, and
yeah,
then
she
you
had
added
the
notes,
verse, and then I did the
chorus.
chorus, and then like I know I didn't. That was when I hadn't really practiced with them yet, and I was like, do you sing or do you just scream? So like we wrote a little we wrote a little like riff where she actually like sings and shows off her voice because I mean she has a good voice, and
that's the song I hate doing the most.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't like. I love the song. I love it. I literally love the song, but it's just like I feel like sometimes I'll be very like perceptive to the audience's reaction, maybe in a way that I shouldn't be, and I can just feel like the energy dwindle during that song. And I think it would be different if you could hear like the lyrics better, but we're playing at a lot of punk shows with like horrible PAs where people aren't there to like deconstruct the song, they're just there to like dance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like hard for me to like
yeah.
keep my heart in it when I can like feel like
I feel like that could totally be like once Pulse has recorded, like that would be like a cool song on like Spotify or something. But I also kind of agree where it's like when we play that song, like I love that song because of course like we wrote it.
Yeah.
But again, perceptive to the audience, it seems like it's just like kind of different to our other stuff, and yeah,
which I like, and like hopefully one day we'll have a fan base where they want to hear that stuff. And it's like, oh, they're pulling out a
the
B-side.
deep tracks.
But it's like right now we have a 30-minute set and it's just rowdy kids that just want to dance, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the lyrics to that song that was a poem I wrote actually, and then I just put it to the song, which that was like one of the first times I'd done that, and I just started writing poetry this year, and like I would never perform it, I feel like, or like read it to people. It's just like something that's kind of embarrassing, so it was cool that I could just put it to the song.
No open mic poetry for you?
No, I could never, I feel like.
You're modern day Emily Dickinson. That's gonna be the new one. Add it to the list.
It's a good song title.
You guys sound exactly
You're
like
like
Emily
Emily
Dickinson.
Dickinson.
Does anybody
You just
tell you you
have
have
that
like
vibe.
Sylvia Plath vibes?
I don't think there's recordings of their voice.
Yeah.
Too old.
Ooh, 86.
This was from our band,
Yeah, this is
actually.
throwback.
I wrote that riff back in like 7th or 8th grade, and I'd just been kicking it around for years, just
Like
trying to
every
find
band
something.
he's been in.
Just trying to find
Yeah.
something to work with it, and it was one of our old bands. It was a song with them for a little bit. I didn't have a name for the longest time. It was just called Untitled, and we couldn't think of anything. But the time structure at the time went like eight bars, 6 bars, 8 bars, 6
And we're
bars.
like, we'll just call it that. It's
yeah,
fine.
86, 86, and it just worked.
Yeah.
But that's
And-
funny because when you ban someone from an establishment, it's called 86ing them. So that's what I would always think of. Like,
That's pretty
you're
rad.
86ed.
That's funny.
But anyways.
Yeah, ours is a little bit more surface level.
I couldn't think of a name.
That's too deep of a read. Okay, Emily Dickinson.
But like I would always introduce this song for some reason as this is a song Mason wrote. And like everyone would always be like, I can't believe Mason wrote those lyrics. Like that
Oh
song.
yeah, the lyrics.
And so then we just like
We went with it.
I'm like, I don't give a shit.
We have like a running gag
Like-
where we're like, he wrote this for his high school poetry competition.
Yeah, we're like, he won best poem this year. Like, so I was just like, I really don't care if people know who wrote the lyrics or not. And then I just think it's funny all the attention he gets. People are always like, that's a good song.
It's
People always
And
ask.
it is a
People will
great
be like,
song.
who's the song about? And I'm like, I'm not telling you.
Yeah,
Just go
free
along with
free
it.
Pulse merch if you can guess who it's about.
Cause of death, rock and roll. A rock and roll casualty, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's give it up for the drummer.
Song for the Dead.
Oh, that did end with me on the
I
floor.
forgot.
Yeah, that was
Did you
fun.
come through your drum?
Yeah, he
John-
fell.
I took a leap through the drum
I
kit.
actually didn't.
Yeah,
watch
'cause
that.
I-
Didn't you say before we were like, don't do that? Porter would get mad about his drum set.
I said, so it's not technically my drum set, it's my little brother's drum set. So I was in charge of keeping it in my care and keeping it nice and clean and not scratched. And then I broke his poor little trust because at the end of the set, actually, he doesn't even give a shit. He doesn't care. But I don't know. I just was like, it would be really cool. You know what part of it was? Is that is like one of the only times up until then I had actually played technically my own drum kit and it like wasn't someone else's. So it's like, oh, I'll take the opportunity to like
But it wasn't.
do
his, it
something
was his
wild.
brother's.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'll do the opportunity to do something wild because it's not like some random guy's drum kit
Yeah.
that like I can't, destroy a
Which,
little
by
bit.
the way, like, what's with backlining culture?
way,
Like, do
Like,
you
not
have
wanting to
this with
break-
your band too? Like, just like we played this one show. It was on a Wednesday night in San Pedro. There was about 4 people there, and
oh my
the
God.
band that organized it was like insisted that every band have their own drum kit for 30-minute sets for the show that like started at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday night, and like we had to bring our
Right.
whole drum kit. And they're like, and then it's like for every 3 band we have to switch it out, and it's just like, why?
Why? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's bullshit. I
Do
think
you
unless
get-
we like
lucky?
to share.
Yeah.
But there was an instant where the band after us broke my drummer's drum set, so that wasn't fun.
Oh, that
Oh,
sucks.
that's
Broke like
horrible.
how?
Just like from hitting it too hard. They were actually a ska band. so-
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then I think they did pay us back, so that was nice. But
Good.
like, there's that. But like, I think unless you have somewhere to go like instantly, then why not let other people use your
I
set?
know.
You know?
Mhm.
I know, and I just think more venues should like maybe
Have one
have a
on
kit
deck.
there because it's just like it's literally come to a point like our philosophy as a band when we first started was like you play every show you can get, and now we've come to a place where we'll if it's like okay it's on this weeknight and it's this far away and you want us to backline all because like we have like a lot of heavy gear too. He has a full Marshall stack now. He has a bass cabinet.
Staff.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's yeah.
I
It's
thought-
big.
It's as tall as
like,
whatever size stack it is, it's as tall as me. So it's
It
and
is
it's just
massive.
Is
like
it really?
yeah, and
How
it's
the
like
fuck we're gonna fit that in the truck?
dude, I know.
we can think
I
about
could
that
put it
later.
in my car.
And then it's like a drum kit on top of that. It's just like I don't know.
Okay.
It's just like, and then it's like for every 3 band we have to switch it out, and it's just like why?
Why? Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you're driving this much out of your way, you don't know how many people are going to be there, and then you're not making any money from it. Sometimes it's like hard to justify. Like I've just been really upset with backlining lately.
No,
Yeah.
it always ends up fine afterwards. Like it's a fun time to like do the show, but like honestly, that's like the worst part of being in the band is carrying everything.
carrying everything,
If
having
we
to set everything
ever
up.
get signed to, and this is also okay. I worked at Guitar Center for a year and a half, and my job was moving heavy gear, and I was like, I never want to do this again, and now I'm doing it for the band. But it's like if we ever get signed to a label or make money or anything, like literally first thing we're doing is
Getting
hiring
roadies.
a roadie.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
number one expense.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be like settled really easy if we had like just like something with wheels we moved it on. I think
We do. The amp case has wheels.
The
on
yeah,
amp
it.
we
case is
never.
too small.
You can, again, you said that earlier. We take what we can get because
Mhm.
like I don't
It's-
know, like anything. We just want to get like Pulse out there.
We're just very like everyone in this band kind of, I feel like maybe besides Michael, which like just proves that he's the one that has sanity. We're like literally band obsessed and just like romanticize like certain eras of music and rock and roll so much, and like we'll just be like, if Van Halen wasn't playing, like they were at the Forum at that bar and Gene Simmons never saw them there, they would have
Yeah.
never been. So we're always like, you never know who's gonna be there. It doesn't matter
Except
if
you,
there's
Michael. You're stupid.
Bon Scott
no
first saw Brian
I just
Johnson.
mean like
Do you know that? You know that story? Or was it Bon Scott or Angus Young? One of the
It was Bon
AC/DC guys
Scott
saw
watching
Brian
Brian
Johnson
Johnson.
play with his weird band that no one
Yeah.
knew on like a
And
Thursday
his
night.
appendix blew up.
His
during the
appendix
set.
burst on stage,
Jeez.
and he went
No
and he
one
was
knew.
like, "Wow, that's the best frontman I've ever seen." Like he
He
didn't
was-
realize his he was on
He
the
was
floor
rolling
screaming,
around screaming.
and he's like, "That's the best
so
frontman I've
good.
ever seen,"
Wow.
and that's how he got in the
Wow.
band. Isn't that super awesome?
It's
Well, he
So
got in the
hopefully
band
your
'cause Bon
appendix
Scott
bursts on
died,
stage.
but-
So.
I hope not.
And then Duff McKagan will see it.
They'll be like, damn, she's really into it.
And then I don't know. I'm not a fan really of Tyler, the creator. I'm not a fan of him. I just like don't have an opinion. But I saw a video of him talking about how was it Rex Orange County he discovered or something, and he's like, I literally don't know.
I think he
But-
discovered Frank Ocean. I don't know if that's.
I don't think it was Frank Ocean.
It was someone.
But it was someone, and he's a very popular musician. He's like, I watched this video of him playing, and it literally had 6 views. And just like you never
was
know.
it Steve Lacy?
I don't know.
I feel like they're all
Who's
in the
that?
same realm.
Yeah.
And so like I mean that's not my genre, but we just like totally subscribe to that, and we always like it does not matter how many people are there. We always put on a good show, but now we're just more meticulous with like, okay, like is this a show with bands that are gonna like bring people out, or is this like a bunch of bar bands that just like need someone on the bill? Like,
Yeah. And especially like 21 plus shows. We've
Or-
just had some dumb experiences with like it's a Tuesday night at a bar, so we're getting hassled by the staff, and
'cause
no one's fucking there. And
We're actually
like,
all underage, but we always act like we're all
You guys
not
are
all of us are
The two of
underage.
you. I
Yeah,
think the 2 of you.
How
old are you
You guys are 20, right?
20.
Yeah.
20. Yeah.
19.
We're 17.
So, but like every time we play at a bar, it's just like, okay, well, we have to put X's across your entire face and stand outside, even though it's 30 degrees out. This is
Yeah, sometimes it's not worth it.
this is a hyperbole, but it's just like, dude, it's like, why'd you ask us to play here then? Like,
Yeah, and like also like distance too, because I guess like taking that into account, like a bar that's far away, like yeah, we want people to see us, but also like it's nice to have like our fan base like be able to see us too, and we'd rather take those shows, I think.
And then there's some bars where it's like, this is a bar that has live music and people go there for the live music, and if that's the case, like maybe those shows are worth playing. But it's like it'll be a random bar that just wants to say they have
A band.
live music, and like
Mhm.
we've played a lot of 21 plus shows that have been great, but a lot of them have sucked too.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just really shit when your friends can't go. You know?
Yeah, it's the
And-
worst.
It's
like-
just like high schoolers are just no one gets into it like them, because I just
They
feel
have
like
the
they have
most
so much
fun.
aggression, or they maybe like I don't know, because everyone says high schoolers are like the most insecure, but it's like I feel like you get older and you just get more insecure, and like there's just so many like people, like indie cool looking people that are just like standing with their arms crossed that like can't be seen doing anything lame, so they don't dance. But it's like high schoolers do not give a fuck. Like they're just gonna, they want to go punch the air for 30 minutes, and
Mhm.
so it's just like
They're so
every
frustrated all
time
the
we
time.
play an
It's-
all ages show, it's just such a different, like, visceral feeling.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and it's fun, like, from, I don't know about your point of view, but, like, playing with, like, people that are, like, more your peers and, like, older than you is, like, also, like, so fun. And, like, seeing, like, people like me who are my age having a good time because of something that, like, we put work into and produced and are playing, it's, like, that's a great feeling, so.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I discriminate because it's fine, but like playing with older people, sometimes it's a little weird. Like it's like I went to a show where we played and it was like in Highland or something, and I was like, we pulled up and I was like, so everybody here's like 30.
Yeah, it's always an interesting vibe because it's like these people are not really my peers. And like, you know, like it's not that we can't be friends by any means, but it's just like there is an interesting vibe when you're playing with bands that are all like a decade older than you.
and like I don't want to generalize, but I just feel like the youth is more likely to like take your band and make it a part of like their personality and their existence. Like, I love this band, I want their t-shirt, I want their poster, like I want to go see them. And like, I don't know, just the older you get, maybe that's lost.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to generalize, but it's like when we do play shows with older bands and then the crowd's older, it's just a completely different
Totally.
vibe.
I feel like when you're young and in high school, you would live, breathe, and die for a band. And
Yeah.
then when
Yeah.
you're older, it's like, oh, Guns N' Roses is playing. Oh, I got work.
Yeah, and a lot of people have like the older crowd tends to go out to hang out. Like they go out with their friends and they get a drink and they're like, oh, we'll go watch the band for a little bit and then we'll like just talk with each other. But a lot of high school kids are like, we're going out to watch the band because we love the band and we just want to like beat people up while we watch the band, and that just make like it's more fun.
Yeah,
you know, when you're up on
absolutely.
stage, like having people that aren't just there to hang out, like they're there to do something crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a couple.
We recorded some stuff. We still need to
Songs down.
master it together.
Yeah.
Long story short,
Don't say.
okay, I won't say anything. But we have recordings done, and we're really excited about them because they're all live. Like, we recorded it. We had like a 28 channel thing, so like it wasn't everything was recorded separately on top of each other. It was like we were all playing the song together. But something happened with the vocals, so I have to go back and now do the vocals separately on top of them playing.
For
But
the
my-
whole thing, or just a couple songs?
we only recorded 4 songs, so I have to do it again for all 4
Okay.
songs. But my voice is lost right now. So literally, like, this is what we've been talking about the past weeks, is like the second my voice is all the way back, we're gonna add the vocals, do the final mixes, and
Yeah.
I'm
And
not sure what the future is. I don't know if we want to do like a 2-song EP and then eventually an album, or if we just want to drop
Well,
the
like
4
we,
songs as like a mini thing. I don't know.
Mason and I were talking, and like we have 11 songs right now, and we were like, okay, one more song, we could write it. Like we want to spend like a lot of time like for our up and coming practices, like writing and recording. So like before we have like we want to go on a Midwest tour in the summer, like that could be like released potentially, and like people could like then listen to us
And that's-
when they see us.
That's smart because like that's something to buy, and people like to buy tangible things. Like, here's our CD.
CDs and maybe even tapes. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to do tapes. But yeah, we definitely have enough stuff for an album. It's just like the only thing preventing us is we haven't found like a producer or recorder that necessarily like
gets
us and our vibe. And we don't like, we do have some of the gear, but not the right gear to do it the way that we want to do it. So it's just like kind of been a waiting game right now, but definitely in the works. Okay, there's a show we're doing on August 5th, which I know is super far out, but it's literally like a punk Woodstock. So it's
Oh, this is cool. This is the
It's-
coolest
Oh, the
thing.
second
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
it's a all-night show. Like, it starts at 7 p.m. and it goes until 7 a.m. There's going to be like 20 bands playing. There's going to be like food trucks there, a sponsored
in
skate team there.
Palm
It's
Desert.
close to Joshua Tree.
It's on. It's in a skate park that's on like BLM land. So you just need to drive off the highway for a little bit, and you can kind of do Like you can play music
Like,
out there like nobody's
Yeah,
business.
there's
You know?
people are gonna be camping and stuff, so
That's gonna be amazing.
that is being
That would be
set
really
up
cool.
by Section 47. So shout out to them for doing that. So that's like if you want to have a party this summer, mark that date on your calendar, August 5th.
August 5th.
And then
Go
Website.
to www.pulsehates.com and check out Pulse_US on Instagram for upcoming shows as well and all the good stuff.
And it's really easy to book us. We'll pretty much play anything. So if you
Play
like what you see and
anything.
want us to play at your quinceañera or your
Quinceañera.
cousin's birthday or
Funeral,
funeral service,
Wake.
just
wedding.
wedding. No, no wedding.
no,
Yeah.
we're not a
Wedding.
wedding band. We have standards. But hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Should we redo like We Are Pulse because it was cringy? at the
It's so
beginning?
bad, yeah.
It
okay.
was?
Yeah.
We'll go.
Oh.
We are. No.
Alright, guys, who the hell are you?
Pulse!
Alright, I think that's a wrap.
We are
I gotta take some shots.